So how would I go about practicing scales? Basically, we want to not practice correcting errors. We want to practice eliminating errors. So one thing I often see people do, and I have been guilty of this too, is we start playing and then we come to a shift and we miss it and we quickly correct it. And we go on because we figure we've corrected it. But that really hasn't reinforced the muscle memory of an accurate shift. It has reinforced the muscle memory of an inaccurate shift and then reinforced the skill of correcting it.
Mendelssohn's Scherzo is all about the bow stroke. It's important to know the difference between spiccato and sautier. In the eighth notes, you will see that the bow stick jumps. This is spiccato, whereas the 16th notes are sautier. The bow stick actually does the jumping, and the hair of the bow never really leaves the string. So to know the difference between the jump of the spiccato and the natural bounce of the sautier is crucial for this excerpt.
Midsummer Night's Dream Scherzo again has to have an attractive, brilliant bow stroke with enough sparky noise inside of it. And it has to bubble along so it sounds fun, not too dutiful. And when you come to the these passages have to have great wit. They shouldn't be matter of fact. So as you come out of playing all these continuous notes, make sure that you can then put equal attention into the bars that have a mixture of quarter notes and eighth notes.
Hello, my name is Bing Wang, and I'm the Associate Concertmaster of the Los Angeles Philharmonic. Today, I'm going to talk about the Scherzo from the Midsummer Night's Dream by Mendelssohn. Spiccato is really important for orchestral playing, and there are many different kinds of spiccato that we have to incorporate in different pieces and different repertoire and styles. And the spiccato that's needed for this particular excerpt, the Midsummer Night's Dream, is probably the most delicate kind of spiccato. In order to find the right style for this excerpt, we should find the right kind of spiccato first. It will be helpful to practice spiccato without getting into the piece and by repeating a single note. I believe it's helpful to practice with a metronome so that you can always achieve the spiccato very metronomically and with excellent rhythm and control. Next, we have to have a solid rhythm foundation for this entire page, entire excerpt. Again, I recommend practice with metronome and by subdividing into 3/8. So you will have the metronome click at, let's say, da 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 da. In that first line, I believe there are two spots that's very difficult for our control, technically and rhythmically. One spot is the very first note. As you know, if we don't have the right control of the 8th note, the second note, the first 16th, is going to come too soon. So our control is to toss our bow with the right amount of weight that's needed in order for the 3/8 to be very even. So I believe every time we have an 8th and 4/16 in one bar, for instance, the very last bar of that first line, we encounter the same issue. In that bar, that 8th comes on the down bow. But it's the same thing. We have to have enough circulation and rhythm so that the 8th is done very properly. And the other part that I said was very difficult in that first line is how to get off the ties. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Very often in the faster playing, we hear these ties are just cut off way too early. So it's essential to think about and to have in the back of your head the basic 3/8 when you play this piece, and that's the crucial foundation of the rhythm. The next point I'm going to talk about is how to do the accents, sforzandos, and the last note releases of the single 8th properly. So you do the accents by throw down a little bit more weight in your down bows, in your down bow spiccato. And the sforzandos in the middle of the piece. I would say these are not hard sforzandos. You incorporate your left hand, and the sforzando is not harsh. And there are many measures where there is a single 8th at the beginning of the measure, which is the end of the phrase. They are not long. So these are not done. We don't really sit on these notes. Yeah. It's important when we play this excerpt, you have to know what comes before the violin lines. It's the winds. And how do winds sound? So we have to sound just like them. And now you understand. The 8th are not long. They are delicate and beautiful, but they are not long. We have to sound just like the winds. Now, in all, we play this music with the right style and the right feel of the scherzo. And in the end, we do not subdivide in 3. We have to think of this with a much longer line. Yes, the music is in 1, but we have to really think about the longer phrase. two more pointers of dynamic and control. One is towards the bottom second half of the page where you see there is a pianissimo. It's important to acknowledge that. So I'm going to play the previous line, which is in piano, and then show you how we distinguish that pianissimo. You see, we play and achieve the pianissimo by playing spiccato even closer to the string. The rhythmic requirement stays the same, but the spiccato is done even closer to the string. And the swell, whenever you see there are swells between in two measures, they are small swells. Make sure you stay in rhythm and do a small swell with small crescendo and dim. And towards the end, the very last line, yes, we do have to make a crescendo, we do have to make a dim, but do not change the tempo, do not change the speed of a spiccato, do not alter the rhythm, and everything has to be done with subtlety. There you go. The delicate and beautiful scherzo from Midsummer Night's Dream.